Hello, hello. JJ DiGeronimo here, and this is a new version of Together We Seek. We're having some classes, some ways so that you can take some of the information that we talk about and use it to benefit yourself, your career, your life, and your goals. So I'm super excited to be here with you right now at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with my friend Molly Gauthier. Hi, Molly.
Hey, JJ. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, I love this because I work with so many different light workers, healers, mystics. One, because I'm just incredibly passionate about it. And two, I'm always trying to figure myself out. Like, am I going in the right direction? Is this what I should be doing? And although I've really learned to tap into my own tuition, these types of tools have been instrumental for me to work in my flow. So I'm really excited today to talk about our birth chart and how it can apply to careers and career planning. So, with this, I'm so glad you're here. This is a series of three. We're going to have one conversation tonight. We're going to have our second conversation next Thursday on the 24th at 7 p.m. And our third conversation is going to be on November 6th. So hopefully you'll join us live so you can ask questions to Molly while she's here. But Molly, before we kind of get into who you are and how this all fits together, can you tell us what a birth chart is?
Absolutely. That's a great question. A birth chart is a map of where the sun, the moon, and all the planets were relative to the earth at the exact moment of your birth. It's like a snapshot in time, and it can be read in a myriad of different ways. It is basically your energy blueprint.
I love that. Your energy blueprint. And I think I can already tell, like, this energy blueprint has so many different dimensions and probably influxes and influences throughout your life.
Yes. Yeah, it who you are stays the same. It's kind of like your genetic code, but you can also think of yourself as a tree. You start out a little sapling and then you add rings and you add layers of complexity to your being. And the chart unfolds in many different ways on kind of different timetables and stuff. There's a lot of different ways of reading the passage of time and and you becoming who you are, and that can all be seen in the birth chart. The ups and downs in your life, the triumphs and the tragedies, usually are going to show up in the birth chart or will relate back to the birth chart in some way.
I love this. I've been studying birth charts since I think it's been 19. Because I had a reading back in 17. Actually, I was in Miami, Florida, and I feel like my life was crashing down. It was 16, actually, 16. It was falling apart in every direction. And I was staying at this hotel, and they had a birth chart reader. And I met with the birth chart reader. Her name's Lori. And she went through all these highlights, but she said, in 2024, it's all going to come together. And I was like, oh, dear God. I'm never gonna make it to 2020. So I was on
Here
hot
we
to
are.
trot. And here we are. I was
Here
hot
we
to trot
are.
to figure out, like, what is this birth chart and why is she saying that? So what type of insights can people learn from their birth chart?
So much. You can learn so much about what makes you tick. Karma shows in the birth chart. Past lives show up in the birth chart. So if that's your thing, you've got a lot to read in the birth chart. Family history shows up in the birth chart. Your mother and father, your siblings, that whole setup shows up in the chart. And you can also read the passage of time. You can look at where the planets are today and if any of them are in the same place where planets were when you were born. You're going to be sensitive to that because every one of those planets in that birth chart snapshot, every one of those positions in the sky, because we're not talking about a piece of paper, we're talking about what's happening in the sky, like where the moon was when you were born becomes a supercharged point of the sky for you. So when Mars goes over that point, for instance, you're going to feel fired up in your feelings because the moon represents your feelings. So, and all the planets are constantly doing those things to all of your birth chart planets in some way or another. And depending on how your birth chart is set up, that will, like I see some charts that have a lot of planets in one sign, and then we have the planets out in the way out that move very slowly. And so if they're in a really good alignment to those planets, they'll just go down them like a row of dominoes, ding 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 ding, and they'll have like a string of great years. And then that planet in the sky will shift to another sign, and then things turn difficult for a while. And so if you've had these cycles in your life where things are good for a while, and then things are hard for a while, and then things are good for a while, that's in your birth chart. And that's what I primarily love the most about astrology, is the ability to forecast. But it all comes back to the birth chart. And what does this mean specifically for you? The thing is the chart is so unique. It's like a fingerprint. Nobody has the same birth chart as you. Even a twin is going to have just a little bit of difference in that birth chart, and you're going to embody it differently. So, it's just an incredible tool for all kinds of, you can get all kinds of practical information out of it. You can get all kinds of mystical information out of it. It's just an amazing tool, and that's why I fell in love with astrology so many years ago. It's almost 30 years ago now, which is crazy.
Well, and the thing I love about your work, you and I've been working together at least 4 years now, is you have very affordable options. So you are going to share some discount codes and links with the audience here, but it's a great way if it's something that piques your interest. You have excellent on ramps to just learn a little bit at a time that all adds up. And I still have my sticky note from one of your cue cards. You probably can't
Ah.
see it. It's all your signs. So it's your fixed, the cardinal. I have all the signs here, of like from one of your cue cards that I keep here when I'm looking at different charts and trying to figure things out.
That's
So, and then I
awesome.
call you sometimes too. I'm like, does this mean? So tell me, like, can people parse out information from the birth chart specifically for career and career planning?
Absolutely. It's not that hard really. And next week I have a plan to show you. And I'm going to come at this from the point that everybody watching this is a total beginner. So, I mean, if you're not, then some of this stuff might be a review for you. And it's great when you're learning astrology to repeat things a whole lot of times. That's pretty much how we learn. Anyway, but next week I'm going to pick a few key parts out of the chart having to do with your basic who you are, how you communicate, and also how you handle duty and responsibility. Okay, so that's not all there is related to career in the birth chart. There's a lot, but those are three key pieces that I want to pull out and show you the insights that you can get based on those planets and what zodiac sign they appear in. There's certain patterns that are not going to be the same for everybody, but there's certain trends that we can pull out. And there's timing trends too, and that's what I want to show you on November 6th, which is, by the way, the first two meetings are Thursday, but the November 6th is going to be Wednesday. Just putting that out there in case anybody's confused by that. On November 6th, I'm going to introduce a very simple timing technique based on a 12-year career cycle. And it's a pretty simple matter to tell you, to read for you and show you how to read, whether you are at the beginning of a career cycle, the middle, the end. Are you winding down? Are you just getting started? Are you coming to a place of fulfillment? That's usually really helpful information, not because it's something you didn't know, but because it's affirming something that you already deep down knew. And that's what I love about what I do is I don't often tell people things about themselves that they don't already know. But I tell it to them in a way they might not have thought of it before, in a way that's really affirming and validating. I love that about what I do.
I love that about so many of the spiritual practices, whether we're doing theta healing or we're doing past life regression or astrology or birth charts. Oftentimes it's just those markers on the road that's like veer to the right, veer to the left. Like you're on the
Mhm.
road and it's just really giving you direction on how to kind of maintain your pace and take
Mhm.
advantage
Yeah.
when there's straightaways and then, be mindful when there's deep curves.
Absolutely. And one of the things I also really like is if you are going through it, if you're in a dark place, if you're having a hard time in life, astrology will usually tell you exactly when you're going to be done with that, exactly when things are going to change and shift and feel better. I love that. I love being able to pull that out for people too, so that they feel like there's hope. And then
Wow.
if there's a rough time coming, you can get the lay of the land. You can understand, like, here is how I can proactively move through this in a way that respects the lessons, because there's always lessons. Life is all about lessons, and the planets show us that too. But if you know what the lessons are before you go through them, you can have an easier time with whatever struggle it is that's happening in life. Okay. And that's not, and let me just go on a soapbox just for a second. Some people are like, well, I don't want to know anything negative. But it's not negative, because that's going to happen whether or not you know about it or not. It's not negative. It's keeping your eyes open. It's going through life with your eyes open.
And that's why I do this because I feel like society has conditioned us to look at a few tools, right? We can look at Myers-Briggs or Strength Finders or
Yeah.
the horoscope in the newspaper. But in reality, there are so many tools and practitioners out there that have such wisdom and insight that can really elevate our experience and sometimes shorten the window. Or maybe not shorten the window, but maybe allow you to receive the lesson quicker, right? You
Yeah.
don't have to go down 17 steps to get the lesson. Maybe you step down 4 and then you pop back out.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to get hit over the head by the cosmic 2 by 4 quite as many times.
Yes. Yes, I love that. So, how do people start if they're not even aware of the birth chart? Like, what is the first step for them?
Well, you should definitely get your birth chart if you are interested in this. Now, there's a couple of different options. I have a link on my website, and I'll go ahead and pop that into the chat here. So if you just want an easy, hold on. How do I all right, I don't know how to use the chat, apparently.
Yes.
Um,
So we can just you can send it to me and I'll put it up in the show notes.
okay, I put it in the private chat. Okay,
Oh,
perfectly.
perfect. I'll move it over. I got it.
Yeah. So go on my website and follow the instructions to get a birth chart for free on a website called astro.com. Astro.com. That's a Swiss website. It's old as the internet, and it is very, very accurate. So all you need is your date of birth. Your time of birth is helpful if you know it, and the city that you were born in. You enter those details and it will return to you a computer generated chart. Another option is you can book 20 minutes with me. Free, absolutely free. This is a special offer just for this workshop. Book 20 minutes with me using the link that JJ will put in the show notes, and I will run a birth chart for you that looks like, can I show this now?
Sure. Let me
The
put it up for
show the
you.
screen. It looks like this, okay? I've got JJ's chart here, and it's at the bottom. There is a cheat sheet telling you what all the symbols mean. So that will kind of get you started reading the chart. On the bottom is the signs of the zodiac, and then on the side here are the planets, starting with the moon, then the sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and all of the rest. We're going to read, um, well, can you put that back one more time?
Sure, yeah, let's do it again. Yes.
Can they see my pointer?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to read from the outside of the wheel in. So this little critter here is Saturn. We're going to ignore the numbers for now, but reading from the outside in, we know that Saturn is in Gemini. So we're looking at the planet. Planet Saturn is in sign Gemini. Saturn in Gemini. That's what you need to know. If you do 20 minutes with me, I'll give you a quick tour of your chart. I'll show you around the important planets. I'll show you around your symbols, and we'll just sit and chat for up to 20 minutes. And I will give you a PDF at the end of the session of your chart so that you have it. You have the chart, you have the cheat sheet, you're ready to go. Or you can just go to my website, follow the instructions, go on astro.com and get your birth chart for yourself.
Well, this is great, and this is how I learned too. It was a step-by-step process, and I can't tell you how many times I had to download my chart. But I love it. I have it on my door here behind me, and I often look at the transit planets, where my planets are. And for career, I was just digging into it yet last Thursday because I'm at crossroads right now, and I'm trying to determine what direction I really work towards. And it's the chart that really gave me the insight because I followed very specific things that you've guided me towards to really look, and another friend just kind of looking at all the pieces and parts. And I think for many of us, it's great to have the tools that we've been trained to in the corporate world, but it's also great to add additional tools to our toolkit so that we can really look at all the energy we have to play with, all the skill sets and gifts that are available to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. There's so many directions that you can go with it. There's so many tools out there. Astrology is my big thing, but there are just so many. You're right. You're right. And I'm so glad that there's somebody like you out there really pulling it all together for women so that they can make good choices moving forward about working with practitioners perhaps, or making those important career choices for themselves. And really having that knowledge of who you are is so helpful. Who you are at your core level. And sometimes when we're sitting in our stuff, we don't really know. I have who I want to be, and who I think I should or ought to be. But the chart, it cuts through all of that, and it's like, no, sister, this is who you really, really are.
Yeah, and I've told you this before, I've said this before on my podcast and things, is the birth chart for me was a can opener. It really allowed me to realize what was on the inside, and even though I had visions of what is possible, it was my birth chart that confirmed, "Yes, you can." And I think so many of us sit on the edge of the pool thinking, "Should I? Is now the time? When can I do this? Am I even prepared or even equipped to do this?" And the birth chart for me was a hell yes.
Love it.
Oh. Molly
Yes.
and I have we've been we I every other Monday I'm with her on Monday mornings at 11. She does the something
Oh, the
jam.
Cosmic Calendar Club. That's another use of
Yes.
astrology that I didn't even think to mention, but every 2 weeks I forecast the astrological weather, the weather. And it's not a specific forecast for you. It's more like a forecast of the workplace energy. That's really what it is, a forecast of the public energy, the energy we all share, and the energy of the workplace. And
And I love it.
that's really important in doing things like selecting the best day to do something, like ask for a raise,
Do
or
your
execute,
taxes.
or what?
Remember we had do your taxes a couple months ago
Do
and
your
and
taxes, and or hold an important event like we're doing today,
yes.
um, or have a surgery even, because the weather is one of the things I look for when I choose surgery dates for people, because that's the surgical workplace is going to be really important. Do I want to pick a date for surgery for somebody where the workplace is not going to be functioning well? The doctors and nurses aren't getting along, or they don't have the right kind of equipment or part. They don't have the right knee replacement for you or whatever, you know. Those details are not important for me to know, but I want to know that the workplace is functioning
Right.
well.
You wanna be in the high vibe. People always say, "Oh, I wanna be in my flow. I wanna be in my flow." And I think that every
Yeah.
2 weeks we get on Monday mornings with a group of people and we just look at the energy for the week. So there's a lot of things you can do with the birth chart. We told you how to get your birth chart. If you need some help, you can reach out to Molly, and I've already put the links in so you can click on those to sign up a 20-minute session. She'll give you your birth chart, answer a few questions, and then you can join us next Thursday where we're actually gonna look at the planet placement and really talk about specific things in the birth chart that would give you indicators of things to look for related to you, your career, and future planning and strategy.
Yes, that's the plan.
I think so. I think so. So, anything else that we can consider? I know we have people on and off today, but I'm really excited to bring this forward in this way. I've seen different people talk about this, but these are three easy ways that you can one, get your birth chart, two, talk to a certified birth chart expert that I talk to
Mm.
often, and three, you can use your own birth chart to join us in the future sessions where you can get really specific information specifically about you. And I think for many of us, this took me a long time to find Molly and many of the other people I work with. And so this is my gift to you is bringing Molly forward to you so that you have somebody to talk to, somebody to work with, so that you, if you're in that place right now where you're at a crossroads or you can see the writing on the wall and you need to kind of figure out what's next, or you're looking to get a promotion, here's another tool for you to really advance yourself in the way that aligns to who you already are.
Yes. Yes, very well said.
Hmm. Well, I'm so honored, Molly, that we're starting this together, that this is going to be out publicly for people to view so that this has legs of its own because I feel like we all need a little bit of help and it comes to us when we need it. So, whenever you're
Yeah.
listening to this is the time for you.
Well, I love working with you, JJ, and I love working with the people that are connected to you. Everybody's got such a real positive high vibe that I just really love it. I love when work doesn't really feel like work.
That is the truth. That is true. So we look forward to your feedback. We'll be reading your comments. So if you watch this after the live, leave your comment, ask a question. We'll incorporate those into the future events. And we'll see you here next time at 7 p.m. next Thursday. Molly and I will be back on. Hopefully, you'll have your birth chart in hand. If you have any questions, you can DM either of us. Both of us are in the descriptions. You can find us very easily. And we hope that you will be open to using these new ways for career planning.
Yeah, yay, yay. See you guys soon.
See you later. Thanks so much for joining. Bye bye.